어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
지역 경제가 힘차게 출발합니다. 기업들이 고객을 향해 더 빨리 가려면 방송 광고라는 엑셀을 밟으세요. 경제도 기업도 더 힘차게 달려가니까요. 방송 광고의 작은 힘, 경제의 큰 힘입니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Min-Soo Shin. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
Hello, and happy Monday to you all. This is Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Now, question, if you were a parent, maybe if you are a parent, what words would you often say to your children? And let's say you're not a parent. What words do you remember hearing from your parents during your childhood? Well, a recent study from Australia suggests that parents' harsh words during discipline can leave lasting scars on a child's brain. Now, this year over in the US, another survey found that 41% of teens experience their parents' angry language. 분노의 언어라고 하죠. Maybe it's time for us to think a little bit about our own choice of words.
You know, I was wondering, if you could keep on, because the force, it's got a lot of power, and it makes me feel like it makes me feel like
The King of Pop, Michael Jackson, with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Happy Monday, everybody. I do hope your Monday, the first day of the week, is going rather well. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Inside of Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Happy Monday입니다. So, question I asked you at the beginning of the show, what words do you find yourself saying to, your kids? If you're a parent, do you find yourself saying to your kids often? Or let's say you don't have kids. What words, expressions do you remember from your childhood, right, that your parents used to say a lot? I have the worst memory, so I don't really recall what my parents used to tell me, like maybe out of habit or something that you used to put on repeat and say to me. But I do find myself saying certain things to my daughter more often than not. And I do wonder, is this going to leave like lasting memory? It probably will if I find myself saying it a lot. If I realize that I say it to a lot to her, she might grow up and then she might say, oh, my dad used to say this to me often. But is she going to take that as a good memory or something that, is something that she, not the best part of her childhood? Well, according to a recent study in Australia, they tracked 11-year-olds exposed to parental anger until the age of 20, okay? And they used MRI scans for this. Surprisingly, the kids that are now in their 20s, when they have heard angry words, often, when they heard angry words often from their parents, it showed that they had thicker brain regions linked to attention and impulse control. So what this means, this thickness resulted from stress-related substances leading to thicker brain tissue, okay? So that's something that's not what you want, right? Unfortunately, cognitive functions declined and impulsivity increased, potentially affecting them for life. So this is something that, as a parent, hearing these kinds of results, this is not something I'd want to leave with my daughter or my kids, right? Now, according to a recent U.S. survey, it revealed that 41% of adolescents are exposed to their parents' angry language. Phrases like, oh, you're useless. 넌 쓸모없어. You're stupid. 넌 어리석어. Or you can't do anything right. 제대로 하는 게 뭐니? Right? Or, I think this is the worst. 넌 존중받을 자격이 없어. Right? Like, you're worthless. I can't imagine saying that not only to kids, but like just to people in general, right? And maybe for some people, this hits like even harder. I'm ashamed of you. 내가 부끄럽다, right? This was reported as some of the most frequently heard expressions by adolescents. Now, the conclusion drawn is that whether in the workplace or at home, positive words that empower rather than angry language or harsh criticism contribute to better brain development. So, question for you, a little different question I asked at the beginning of the show. If, let's say, you were a parent, or maybe you are a parent, what words do you often say to your children? And once again, if you're single, what words do you remember hearing from your parents during your childhood? 부모라면 아이들에게 어떤 말들을 많이 해주시는 편입니까? 또는 어린 시절 때 부모님께 어떤 말을 많이 들었어요. Like when, for example, when a child misbehaves, like, I don't know, moms out there, and I used to hear this. This is one of the rare things that I do remember from my childhood. My mom would say to me, 딱 아빠다, right? You're just like your dad. 어린 시절 말썽을 피우면 꼭 네 아빠를 닮았어라고 들으셨던 분들도 계실 겁니다. 저도 몇 번 들었던 기억이 있는 것 같아요. Right? So things like that. Like, what do you remember the most? Or what words do you often find yourself saying to your kids? Curious to know, pound 9050 샵 9050 will cost you 100 won. You could chat with us on our Kakao Talk, which is free. You could also log on to our YouTube. We are live over there. Come join us. Right? We'll be waiting for you. Let's get to today's News Bites. Time time for News Bites. We have BFM newscaster Kate Chin with us here in the studio. Happy Monday, Kate.
Happy Monday, Minsu.
Do hope you had a great weekend.
I think so.
Okay, that's good. Good weekends, always good.
I hope you had a great one too.
Same here. Thank you so much for asking. So getting to news from Korea and around the world. Let's get to our first bit of news.
So the decision on whether to disclose the identity of the assailant who attacked Lee Jae-myung, the leader of the Democratic Party of Korea, will be made tomorrow. The Busan Metropolitan Police Agency will hold a meeting to decide on the matter. According to the current Special Act on the Punishment of Specific Violent Crimes, the disclosure of the suspect's identity, including face, name, and age, is permitted under certain conditions like brutality, significant harm, sufficient evidence of the crime, and public interest. The police plan to immediately disclose the information once the decision is made by the committee, which consists of at least 7 members, with over half being external participants.
Okay, let's get into details about the investigation, into the conspiracy in the attack. How's that rolling?
So a person who allegedly assisted Kim, the 67-year-old man, who was accused of wielding a weapon against Lee Jae-myung, the representative of the Democratic Party of Korea, has been urgently arrested.
Okay.
The investigation headquarters of the Busan Metropolitan Police Agency revealed today that they are currently questioning a man in his 70s who had promised to send a so-called explanatory letter, i.e., explaining his motives after Kim's crime. The police are investigating whether this man conspired with Kim in committing the crime.
Okay, so more brought to light. I know the spotlight has been on the actual assailant, but now we have, a person that might have aided in this matter. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on this, continue to provide us updates. What's next?
So we're going to Japan for the earthquake update.
Okay.
So a magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck the Noto Peninsula in Ishikawa Prefecture, central Honshu, Japan, a week ago. As of the current date, the 8th local time, according to local media reports, Ishikawa Prefecture announced that as of 9 a.m. on this day, 161 people have died and 565 people have been injured as a result of the earthquake that occurred on the 1st.
Okay.
With 103 residents reported as missing, according to the count by Ishikawa Prefecture, there is a significant possibility that the number of casualties may increase further.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is something that I know a lot of people have been expecting, but this is not the best news. So the numbers continue to increase with those injured and that have succumbed because of the major earthquake that took place over in Japan. It seems like more updates in terms of the numbers to come. We're going to have to keep our eyes on this as well. What's next?
So while Israel continues its military campaign against the Palestinian armed faction Hamas under the pretext of eliminating them, it has been revealed that more than 10 children in Gaza are losing their limbs daily due to explosive incidents. The non-governmental organization, or NGO, Save the Children, issued a statement on the 7th local time stating that since the start of the war with Israel's assault on Hamas on October 7th of last year, over 1,000 children have undergone surgeries to amputate one or both legs.
Goodness.
Save the Children explained that with the collapse of the medical system in Gaza and a severe shortage of medical supplies and personnel, most children had to undergo surgery without anesthesia.
And I can't even imagine kids going through something like this, right? 10 children having their legs amputated every day in the region. This is, something we wouldn't wish upon anybody, especially when it comes to kids. So I think it's good to know just of the situation that's going on there. Hopefully it's a bit of an eye-opener for our listeners. We're going to move on to our last bit of news. What do you have for us?
Yes, the Netflix drama Beef, directed by a Korean-American director Lee Sung-jin and featuring a cast of Korean actors, swept major awards in the TV miniseries category at the 81st Golden Globe Awards held at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles on the 7th local time. 성난 사람들, English title Beef, received the award for Best Television Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture made for television in the TV miniseries and film category.
Okay.
And the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in the TV miniseries went to Steven Yeun. This is the first-time achievement for an actor of Korean descent for the Globes. Steven Yeun has been nominated for the Best Actor in a Miniseries category at the Emmy Awards also. And with his recent Globe win, there is a now promising signal for a potential Emmy win in the future.
Okay.
So, during his acceptance speech for the award, Steven Yeun expressed his amazement, stating, "It is truly surreal. The stories I usually tell myself are often about loneliness and isolation, but experiencing a moment like this here makes me think of everyone else. It feels like something out of a Disney animation Frozen moment." He expressed gratitude to his family and the production team for this achievement.
So, great news. I know it's not like a production that Korea in itself had backed and supported. I'm sure they were very supportive of just any individual of Korean descent, being put in this kind of project, being put in that kind of spotlight. And now, I guess we could take it as another notch on the belt for just entertainment, Korean entertainment in general, with the win that Beef has gotten, the TV show as well, the series, as well as a win for Steven Yeun. Thank you so much. That will do it. That will wrap it up for today's News Bites. Cate, have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow, okay?
See you tomorrow.
Touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Smell like a sound, I'm lost in a crowd, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Straddle the line, in discord and rhyme, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you.
Duran Duran with Hungry Like the Wolf. The time is now 6:29 here in the studio. Welcome to the first hour of Inside of Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 반갑습니다, 여러분. Let me give you a quick update on the weather and traffic. In terms of the weather, 아주 춥습니다. Right now, Busan City averaging 2 degrees. Now, you might be wondering, is it going to be cold tomorrow as it was today? Well, to answer your question, yes, 내일도 추워요. So, tomorrow expecting morning low of 0 degrees, afternoon highs of 9. So we are anticipating a gradual increase in cloud coverage from late afternoon. So do keep an eye out on your location wherever you are, as some areas might experience even snowfall while others could see a bit of rain. 내일 부산은 늦은 오후부터 차츰 흐려져 곳에 따라 눈이나 비가 내리기 시작하겠습니다. 그래서 여러분 단디 챙기세요, right? It's that cold. When it comes to the traffic, we have congestion on 연수로 from 망미 Junction going towards 수영 Junction. There's also congestion on 거제천로 from 동래 세무서 going towards 과정 Junction. And then we have slow-moving traffic on 대교로 from Busan 대교 going towards the 세관 Three-Way intersection. Everybody, drive safe, all right? We had a message that came in from 승철님 over on our Kakao Talk. 승철님, 오랜만입니다. You are saying, Hi, Min-Soo. Cold weather in Cheonan. I'm hungry. I'm lying down. 아, 그쵸. 승철님, in Cheonan. I can't imagine how cold it is over there. 거기 한 몇 도 정도 됩니까? Right? Right now, Busan, 2 to 3 degrees, right? Probably a lot colder over there. 그쵸, 추울수록, you know, when you're cold, to get over that, it's good to fill your belly up with some hearty, warm food. But if you can't do that at the moment, you're doing the next best thing. You're lying down. 그러다가 그냥 잠들 수 있어요. And if sleep comes, just let it come. 승찬님, I think that's the best way to, to kind of get past that hunger and that cold. You just sleep it off, right? Tomorrow's another day, 승찬님. But do hang out a little bit, though, right? Just hang out with me until at least 8 p.m., and then I'll let you go, all right? Thank you so much. So today, folks, we're talking about words, specifically words and expressions that we say to our kids. In a recent study, a survey that took place in Australia, they had looked at MRI scans of kids from 11 to now in their 20s. And over that span, they, and I'm not saying, they were purposely put in situations where parents would say, out of anger, things to them, right? Because let's be real, parents, they get angry, they get stressed from happenings that kids, are responsible for. Their kids are responsible for most of the time. I mean, sometimes, not most of the time. Sometimes most of the time. But yeah, it seems like these words leave a lasting impression specifically on their brains. Areas where the brain reacts to, responds to in situations like stress. It was found that that brain tissue in the area where the brain handles stress thickens, right? Now, I don't know what specific cognitive functions or how that would change cognitive functions. I don't have the details on that. But I don't know. If I was a parent, I mean, I am a parent. If I'm going to leave any thicker part of my daughter's brain, like if I want to make, the bigger the brain, the better, sometimes they say, right? But I don't want to make the part where, like, every day she has to handle stress. I don't want that part to be the big part of the brain, right? You want to leave, like, happy memories, fun times, not stress. And this comes about all from the words we say, right? And it was found, another survey in the U.S., the type of words and expressions and sentences and statements that kids often hear from their parents, things like, you're not smart enough. Oh, you're useless, right? You're just like your mom, or you're just like your dad. And these aren't the best words that we want to leave to our parents. So I want to ask you, if you're a parent, what words do you find yourself saying often to your kids? And I'm hoping they're good ones. Or let's say you're not a parent. Think back to your childhood. What words do you remember, your parents often saying to you, right? As for me, so being a parent right now, I think the words I find or the statement, expression I find myself often saying to my daughter, I do try to avoid any negative toned, any negative meaning, words. I do want, my child smiling as often as she can. So, the expression, oh, you're just like your dad, or you're just like your mom. And you find parents saying this when kids tend to partake in actions maybe one parent isn't quite fond of, right? But on the flip side of that, things that she does well, right? Things that my daughter does well, I don't know. It's kind of like 칭찬, encouragement to her, but at the same time, like high-fiving either myself or high-fiving my wife. It's like, oh, you're so, like you did something well. You're just like your mom. You're just like your dad. So in a good way, I do use that expression. So share with us, listeners, pound 9050 샵 9050 on our Kakao Talk or over on our YouTube. What words do you find yourself saying to your kids? Or what words from your childhood did you hear often from your parents? Let's get to today's IOB 5분 상식. Time for today's IOB 5분 상식. We have Andrew Murphy in the house. Hello, Andrew.
How's it going?
Hi. Thank you so much for coming in. Getting our listeners in the know of some of the most trending, useful, need-to-know words and expressions. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간인데요. 네, 최근 배드파더스, Bad Fathers 유죄 확정 논란에 대해 알아보도록 하겠습니다. Hey, Andrew, did you hear about this? The Bad Fathers operator getting convicted for not paying child support.
Well, that's what happens to bad fathers. I'm not one of them.
Are you sure? You sure you're not hiding any child support payments?
Me? A bad father? Pfft, impossible. Come on, I'm a pretty good dad. I'm always there for my kids. I attend every school event, help with their homework, and even coach their soccer team.
Wow. Well, I'm a real good dad, too. I'm the dad who remembers every school event, bakes cookies for those events, and even knows the name of all my daughter's favorite cartoon characters.
Settle down, Minsu. I think your head's getting a bit big on that one over there. Probably not as good as me, though. I never forget anything. I dress up as maybe some characters that deliver things to my kids sometimes. I also throw them surprise parties for every birthday. Even mastered the art of the dad joke. Anyway, fair enough. But seriously, what is this about bad fathers, bad dads? What's going on?
Actually, I don't know. But it seems like you're a good dad and I'm a good dad. We're both good fathers.
Superheroes.
We're practically superheroes,
Yeah, so being a dad is hard enough. Let's not complicate it with labels. Good day. But why do tears suddenly come?
It's because you're so sensitive. Me too. We're all sensitive appas as well. It's hard being a good dad. You gotta be the superhero. But then, you gotta have your sensitive side. But then you gotta keep that from your kids because you want to be like the superhero dad and strong and everything. No, I'll let my tears flow.
Oh, 100%.
So let's agree that we're both great dads. Because we are.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right?
Yeah.
Then what exactly does a bad father mean here in Korea? 배드파더스는 무엇을 의미하는 겁니까?
Now, so one way that a number of divorced parents have resorted, to listing their uncooperative ex-spouses on a website called Bad Fathers. Now, the website, which was founded back in July of 2018, shows a list of bad parents who refuse to pay child support for their children. Now, their name, picture, date of birth, region, and other information, possibly as employment places and things like that, are recognized and then they're posted on the site.
Now, I'm not saying, who's in the wrong and who's in the right. And of course, I want all parents to be as supportive as they can.
Definitely.
To their kids. But I don't know if this is like the best way to go about, putting somebody in the spotlight saying this is a bad parent, right?
Yes,
a bad
for
father,
sure.
a bad mother. But why has Bad Fathers, this website, recently become the center of controversy? 최근 배드파더스가 왜 논란의 중심되었습니까?
Now, the Supreme Court confirmed a guilty verdict for the operators of Bad Fathers, a website exposing child support defaulters. Surname Gu, received a final suspended fine of 1 million won. Gu faced defamation charges for exposing photos and personal details of 5 fathers on the Bad Fathers website back in 2018. Now, a district court had initially found Gu innocent, determining that his activities served public interest. In appellate court, later struck down the decision, saying his activities constituted illegal private penalties. Now, this case ignited a societal debate on whether revealing the identities of bad fathers serves the public interest or amounts to private punishment.
I see. So it's the ongoing, I think, debate. Now, I don't want to compare like bad fathers or bad parents to, let's say, like criminals. But you know how Korea recently they decided that we will kind of put on notice or just make available to the public like pictures of like criminals, especially when it comes to serious crimes.
Definitely.
I guess we can't really let's say if they're only guilty of not fulfilling their parental roles.
Yeah.
But then also, I mean, it's kind of like that. Is it okay to release this information?
I believe the thing is when you put it to the court of public opinion, usually the court of public opinion usually sides on the person who's being wronged. Usually, so it's in that sense. I guess there's always two sides to a story.
Yeah.
And people could upload things on this just to try to get back at somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't in the wrong. And
Yeah.
it could really hurt somebody in that sense. That's why it should be done through the proper processes. But, I think it is, it's a gray area because also I know personally some people who they've been fighting for support and, they're doing the proper channels.
Yeah.
But it's just, because the courts sometimes take time.
맞아요.
And, they need money now.
Yeah.
And it's not happening. So, hopefully this, I guess, maybe will deter some other people from not defaulting on their payments.
Sure. Kind of like an encouragement.
Yeah, like,
okay.
hey, pay your bills.
Yeah.
Pay your debts. Take care of your responsibilities.
Yeah, I see. On the flip side of that, I wonder if there's like a Good Fathers website.
Hey, well, we would be poster fathers for that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's weird to put our own names up and our own pictures. So, Andrew, I'll nominate you. I'll put your info up on the Good Fathers site.
I have no shame.
And you put mine up.
If you put mine, then my second vote is for myself. So,
See, now we got 작가님 이 사이트 하나 만들어주세요. 네, Bad Fathers 말고 Good Fathers 하나 만들어주세요.
Yeah,
네,
get it going.
부탁드리겠습니다. 네. Bad Fathers는요, 양육비를 지급하지 않는 부모의 신상을 공개하는 웹사이트입니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 저 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 온 신참인 것 같네.
22번 홀려면
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
All right, folks, we have Andrew continue to be with us for today's Dear IOB. Hello, Andrew.
good evening for the second time.
Yeah, good evening.
I just wanted that music. I just wanted good evening, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's like a daytime talk show.
Yeah, coming back from commercial.
Yeah.
You know, that's and you got to turn and face the camera.
Exactly.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, and we have to do like we're all talking off air, and then when the music
Yeah.
starts cueing, like we still talking, then we wrap it up and then look at the camera. Welcome back, everyone. But indeed, welcome back. Time for today's Dear IOB.
Yeah, so here on Inside of Busan, we have the Dear IOB segment where, in collaboration with the Busan Global Center, which provides comprehensive counseling for specialized consultations in 9 areas for foreign residents in the city of Busan, not just like to provide help, but hopefully help you adapt. And, you know, you can contact them, you know, every day, and at any time you can get a hold of them at 1577-7716. And it's, or on Kakao Talk as well, you could just find them at Busan Global Center, which actually might be an easier way, because if you had a message, shoot them a message, and then they can get back to you, and you can get back to them when is, you know, it's easier for you.
Yeah.
So everyone's quite busy, and trying to get someone on the phone is never easy.
Right. So me and Andrew for this segment, we're kind of serving as the middlemen.
Yes.
But you know, with middlemen, it does take more time to get your answer, get things figured out.
Sure.
So Andrew says contact them directly, but then if everybody were to do that, we wouldn't need of a segment like this.
Yeah.
So Andrew, let's watch what we say.
And also, we're a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, yeah?
As well. You know,
Yes.
we've been around Busan for, you know, a combined 400 years, I feel, something around there.
390 on Andrew's side.
All right, so the first question here, and this is actually, well, we were talking about, you know, fathers and things like that, and you were also, your text topic today was about, you know, words with children and things.
Yeah.
This kind of plays into this as well.
Okay.
So it's, how do I apply for a waiting list for a daycare center? So like for an 어린이집.
Yeah. You know, this, I don't feel like it's only like the foreign community or like the
It's
expats.
so difficult.
Everybody deals with this. And
Yes.
it's even hard for like Koreans.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's also if you live in an area that is, you know, a complex where there's, you know, 10 plus buildings, there might only be a few 어린이집s in that area. You might have to leave that area to find a place for your child to go, which is what happened to my family.
Yeah. With us, where we lived a couple years back, right before the forever home that we have now, we moved. And a big reason for that was because we couldn't get into like a daycare.
And you're not alone. This
my
happens to many people out there, for sure. So the thing here is also that, you know, if a foreigner, you know, you're trying to get into these places, usually it is a little bit easier if you have somebody who can help you, especially if you want to contact a place or whatnot, and you can see, you know, if there's any openings. But if you want to do an online application, you can visit the Integrated Portal for Pregnancy and Childcare. This is AI Sarang, all right? And that is www.childcare.go.kr. Click on waiting list application. And some people are probably wondering, why not just click on application? Because the majority of daycares out there are full.
Yeah.
And there is a waiting list.
맞아요.
And you have to, but then they'll let you know, how far you are down on that waiting list.
Yeah.
And I believe when I did it, or this is with our first son, you could apply for 3 in your area. I think the limit was. All right. So there, and then register your children's information, and then search for the daycare, or click on registration for children on a waiting list. Search for the daycare center in your area and apply. And then you need to submit the documents to confirm your eligibility. And then it is the process.
And then you wait. Yeah.
And if you're lucky to get in, I will say the majority of daycare centers in Korea are fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and they've come a long way as well. You know, you hear a lot of horror stories of things that have happened in the past, and they're few and far between these days. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And my experience, we've had a great experience with ours where our children went, but you can do an in-person application and visit the nearest community center or administrative welfare center to apply. And I don't know if this, what we did actually is we reached out to daycare centers personally. Just called them.
Yeah.
Any openings? Is their list quite long? And they're quite honest with you as well.
Yeah, they'll give you like a big picture of it.
Yeah.
But if you want specifics on like exactly what place, if you were to put your child on the list.
And they can also let you know if they know there might be some children leaving.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, they do know that in advance. Usually parents say, okay, we're moving, we're doing this.
Exactly.
So they can know if there's going to be some places opening up, which is kind of what happened with us. And we were lucky enough to get in. So it was good. So if you're looking to get on a waiting list, it is Aisarang, and you go to the childcare.go.kr website,
네.
and you can get all the information there.
맞습니다. Yeah. This is something that especially parents of like their first kid.
The first
right?
kid is the one that everything is, you know, it's you don't drop something on the floor. Wash it, hurry up. You know, these kind of things. The second child, usually they, you know, I feel like they, you know, they last longer. Like they just
They're more durable.
yeah, they're more durable. That's a better way to put it.
More durable, but then you
They
come to
bounce
those
off of everything.
and then you always find yourself like parents saying, like if we relaxed a little bit on the first one too,
Yes.
as much as we're relaxing on the second one.
100%.
But for parents of like, let's say, you know, with your first kid, even signing up for daycare can be very stressful. So those are the ways to do it, online as well as in-person applications. It is possible. What's next?
Next here, this is one that I'm sure people would have this question anywhere they lived. And even if you lived in a place like, well, I'm from Canada, I probably wouldn't have known this answer when I was living back home. And that is, how should you dispose of expired medications?
So this is also something that, you know, foreign community or expats, you know, not only they go through, but everybody.
Yeah, and for
goes
our
through here in
Korean listeners,
Korea.
everybody would want to know this,
Yeah,
right?
so listen up
Because
because we forget.
I've been, you know, I've thrown some stuff out before that I probably shouldn't have, or probably because I didn't know how to dispose of it.
Exactly.
So-
it's because of most of us, we just don't know.
You don't know, so you're like, okay, I'll put it in the trash. Now, why do you need to dispose of it properly? So there's the harmfulness and disposal methods here. Discarding in general waste bags or in drains can lead to environmental pollution, the spread of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, and other hazards.
Yeah. I love that. Spread of antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
It's like a movie.
It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like the ooze gets into the sewer, and then like
You're killing me right
the
now.
turtles grow
I love
into
it.
this like humanoid creature. We don't want that to happen. Right?
Turtle power.
Nah.
All right. So according to waste management regulations, medications should be separated and disposed of in dedicated collection bins. So how should you separate your medication? So
Okay.
pills or tablets, they should be removed from packaging and dispose of only the contents. So if they're in, a box, and then that inside the box they're in, the plastic. You got to pop the pills out of the plastic. That can be put into the recycling, obviously. But then the pills, and that's what you're going to dispose of. All right, powdered medications, dispose of them as they are, without removing the packaging.
Okay.
All right.
Because that powder can get everywhere.
Exactly. Liquid medications and syrups, collect them in a single container. As you know how you'll end up just having probably like 5 mils or, something left in the bottom.
Yeah.
You want to get it so that you can put it all into one little bottle and then dispose of it that way to prevent any leakage when you dispose of it, i.e. Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right.
Ooze.
Eye drops, ointments, or topical medications, separate the outer paper box and dispose of the container. So you don't need to squeeze them out of the thing or anything like that.
Good to know.
Now, once you do that, what do you do with them after that? So collection bins are installed in certain locations like public facilities, such as community centers and health centers.
Yeah. Good to know.
And then those are the places where you see, like, if you went to a clinic or something, they might have, the box of medical waste. You could put it into that kind of thing, and then it's disposed of. Usually, I'm pretty sure the majority of the time it's burned.
Yeah.
So it doesn't contaminate something else. But that's important as well, because I know when we moved out of our last house, everyone has a cabinet or wherever you keep everything in.
I have 3 cabinets.
The amount of vitamins and things like that, where you looked at it, it was like those are 4 years old.
Exactly.
What? You're like, well, what do you do with this stuff? Now you know. I think that's also important because you don't want to be causing any issues like, there could be animals that get into trash,
맞아요.
these kind of things. And then you don't know how it's going to affect them.
맞아요.
Yeah.
I am very thankful of my local pharmacist because I clean out my 약 drawer, right? I think like 3 or 4 times a year whenever it's like a change of season. Because,
Sure.
it's a change of seasons that we get sick and we go to
100%.
like the hospital and everything. But because I'm always afraid of like news of like stuff getting into like the sewers and that
Yeah.
stuff like gets, recycled and everything. It goes back into our waters and everything.
Exactly.
So the pharmacist is nice enough to take all the old medicine from
Yeah.
me, and then he would do the like separating for us. So I am kind of spoiled in that sense, but separating, I think that's what's the most important.
Yeah, because a lot of
message
people
here
just
is-
think, oh, it's that. I'll just throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Or this can't be recycled, so it just goes in the trash.
Yeah.
No, you should do your part as well.
맞아요.
Separate it, take it to the proper place. And if you go into a community center or, excuse me, if you go into your doctor's office, I'm sure you can ask them,
Oh, yeah.
where can I dispose of this? They'll point you in the right
Yes,
direction.
asking is so underrated. All right,
Yes.
let's do more of it because if you don't know, I'm sure somebody can tell you. Yeah. Andrew, before we finish off our segment, we have a message that came in from Heyeonim on our YouTube saying, "Whoa, Andrew's hair looks so good."
What? I appreciate that. Look at this mess.
Took off his headphones to
Oh,
show it in full effect. 샴푸 광고 같아요.
Oh, my.
And I don't know if this was a thing in Canada, but she quoted a very popular commercial over in the U.S. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
know of the commercial.
I
would
think
cast you right away.
I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow.
Oh, take it. That means it's going to be more glorious. So, Hyun, tune in next week to see it in even its more glorious
The
form.
flow
It's
will
not
be a
even
little
its
bit
final
shorter.
form yet.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew, thank you so much. That will do it for today's Dear IOB. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
See you later.
All right, listeners, that will do it for hour number 1. To take us out, this is Snow with Informer. I'll see you back here at 7.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, Snow, they came around looking for you the other day. Word, bust it. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like keep on down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stab somewhere down the lane. I like keep on down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like keep on down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stab somewhere down the lane. I like keep on down. These are them gonna come in and they blow down my door. Rain it can pour through my window, so they put me in the back the car at the station. From that point on, I reach my destination. Where the destination region out of east detention. Where I look down my pants, look up my bottom. So Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. I like it boom boom down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stop somewhere down the lane. I like it boom boom down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. I like it boom boom down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stop somewhere down the lane. I like you boom down, so big on them all, they think them have more power. They on the phone, me say they wanna want me. For once I use it once and now me call me lover. Love who me calling on the one tell me. And me lover in my heart down to my belly. Yes, and now me snow me, I feel cool and deadly. It's the one MC Shine and the one that is snow. Together we all are come as a tornado. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. I like you boom boom down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, start somewhere down the lane. I like you boom boom down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. I like you boom boom down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, start somewhere down the lane. I like you boom boom down. So listen for me, you better listen for me. You know. Listen for me, you better
부산의 축제 어디까지 즐겨보셨나요? 과거와 현재, 미래가 공존하는 항구 도시 부산. 이곳 부산은 계절을 물들이는 다양한 축제로 늘 풍성합니다. 봄의 시작을 알리는 봄꽃 축제부터 부산의 여름을 만끽하는 바다 축제, 전 세계 영화인들이 모이는 부산국제영화제와 새로운 시작의 해맞이 축제까지. 부산의 축제는 우리의 열정을 가득 담고 있습니다.
바쁜 일상은 잠시 뒤로 하고 특별한 시간을 선물 받는 바로 이곳 부산에서 우리의 삶은 축제가 됩니다. 축제로 하나 되는 부산. 여러분은 어떤 축제를 기다리시나요? 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
보이스피싱 전화 올 땐 전화 끊고 확인하기 택배 주소 오류 사기 인터넷 주소 클릭한대
늘 의심하고 꼭 전화 끊고 또 확인하고
보이스피싱에 눈을 뜨며
예방책이 보입니다.
공익광고협의회.
지금 방송 광고라는 부메랑을 던져보세요. 소비자를 향해 정확히 날아가는 광고. 힘차게 돌아가는 경제. 부메랑처럼 다시 기업의 이익으로 되돌아오니까요. 방송 광고, 경제에 큰 힘이 됩니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다.
Inside Out 부산.
Inside Out Busan.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
Inside Out 부산. Inside Out 부산.
Welcome back, listeners. Hour number 2 of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 반갑습니다 and happy Monday evening. We had a message that came in from Ryu Sang-hyo 원장님 over on our YouTube. This song makes me shake my bum, LOL. Well, I'm glad the music that we play here on Inside Out Busan is making you shake stuff. 원장님 너무 감사합니다. I was actually, so he's referring to the song Informer by Snow. I was actually going to play a song about shaking bums, right? All I wanna do is zoom, 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 boom, boom, boom. 이 노래 하려고 했는데 but I thought this one was a bit more radio friendly, right? I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna kick things off with On the Mic. This is the segment where we get to share stories about the people of Busan. That's you, listeners. Let's see who we have for today.
All right, today we're going to talk to someone here in Busan and find out about their life. Let's get to know them. Hi, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my full name is Murad Fogabek. Everyone calls me just Felix.
Okay, great, Felix. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and how long have you been in Korea?
Actually, I am from Uzbekistan, located in Central Asia. And I've been living in Korea about 3.5 months.
Wow, okay. And how do you like living in Korea so far?
Actually, Korea is the best experience in my life because since Korea was my dream country since 4 years. I prepared with all my best to come to Korea, so I am living in my dream country. When it comes to my first experience in Korea, I cried a lot in the first day of in Korea because of everyone was speaking Korean and because of I didn't speak very well. So when it comes to these days, I'm very happy and I'm proud of myself because I attending too many courses, dance classes and such kind of things because I am good at in dancing, and main reason was to come to Korea for me was K-pop. I come to Korea just for K-pop, and I'm going to go to audition these days.
Wow. Okay, tell me, how did you get interested in K-pop? Were you listening to K-pop back in Uzbekistan?
Actually, in my country, people very get interested in K-pop, like BTS and such kind of groups. And BTS was reason to come to Korea, to my life and singing and dancing.
So So you're not just a dancer, you're also a singer?
Yeah, I sing vocal, rap, and dancing also. I have experience, 3 years experience in vocal. I attended too many courses like at the mission vocal coaches in American. So in my country, knows me as a Luca, main dancer. So many people invited me to many programs, such as K-pop festivals, and also Korean embassy invited me to many K-pop cultural festivals in my country. And so when it comes to Korea, everyone didn't know my name too, and I'm trying.
So you're famous in Uzbekistan?
Yeah, I was biggest dancer group member in my country. So many TV shows invited me to their programs too.
Wow, that's awesome. So now that you're here in Korea, do you think the competition is more difficult, or how do you feel now being in the land of K-pop?
Actually, when I went to 1 Million Dance Studio, actually it's a famous dance club in the Korea. I went to there and attended dance classes of the Bada Lee, and she said to me, "You're not enough to be a dancer," and I felt uncomfortability. And in here, competition is harder than Uzbekistan because in Uzbekistan, there's not too many dancers and dance groups. When it comes to Korea, there are so many young people have the tendency to become K-pop viral and such kind of things.
So the dance studio teacher said you're not good enough. So what are you going to do? How are you going to make her change her opinion?
When it comes to her opinion, I have to more what I can say. Body language, body memory is not enough for me. I'm not good at body memory. So she advised to me to increase it. So I am trying with all my best right now.
Oh, wow. And so what would be your dream? What do you want to be part of a K-pop group, or do you want to become a dance teacher? What would be the dream that you're searching for?
Actually, I really want to be famous singing, just my dream. I come to university is just for my visa, and I couldn't be able to come to Korea without university, so I'm attending more courses like a K-pop teachers. I'm spending a lot of money, and besides my K-pop trainee programs, I also work as a forex trader, and what I can say, Korea is the best place to spend money, and I don't have any stresses in here.
Wow. So it sounds like you're loving your life here. Are you happy in Korea?
Actually, yeah, I am living in my dream, and my 4-year dream is come true, and actually I'm proud of myself because I'm doing it by myself. Nobody helped me to come to Korea, and so what I can say, maybe I will be K-pop idol one day, so
So get your autograph soon.
I think I'm not good enough to become K-pop idol. So because spending more time can be proved to come true dreams.
So you need more time, and then you're going to be the K-pop idol.
Yeah, actually, I have a 4-year in here. I'm gonna live in here. So next week I'm going to go to audition JYP Entertainment. So maybe it will be more.
Maybe coming soon?
Yeah, it will be more chance to me to become K-pop idol one day.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, and good luck on your dream.
Thank you so much.
Got this in pocket, gunpowder, I'm gonna use it. Intention of feeling mental, gonna make you notice. Got motion, restrained emotion. I've been diving, detour leaning, no reason. got something. When can I tell? Gonna make you notice. Gonna use my arms, gonna use my legs, gonna use my style, gonna use my side step, gonna use my fingers, gonna use my imagination. Oh, 'cause I gonna make you see there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention. Give it to me, 'cause I gonna make you see there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention. Give it to me.
And that was the Pretenders with Brass in My Pocket. The time is now 7:10 here in the studio. Welcome, everybody. This is Inside of Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Right before that song, we had today's On the Mic. Our reporter Taken had a lovely conversation with today's guest, Felix. Best of luck to you. Just with, just life here in Korea, on your way to K-pop stardom. 7-11 here in the studio. I do hope you're having a lovely Monday evening. So let me give you a quick update on, when it comes to the weather, hold on for it, okay, because it is coming. Let me fill you in on the text topic first, though, right, because we have a couple messages coming in from our listeners. So I want to find out from you, what words, expressions did you find yourself hearing from your parents when you were a kid, or maybe if you're a parent right now, because I know a good amount of our listeners are, what words do you find yourself saying to your kids often? Now, I want to ask you this, and hopefully, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, they're all nice and good words or something that, will teach them a lesson. Because in a recent study carried out over in Australia, it was found that, parents, if they were to say things, not the nicest things to their kids, or maybe in front of their kids. It doesn't have to be directed towards them. It could be maybe just words out of anger, right? That maybe not specifically directed towards them or just said kind of in front of their kids. This actually leaves an impression, okay? When it comes to MRI scans, okay? So doctors were able to see that a portion of the brain that handles stress, it kind of thickens. I'm talking about brain tissue, okay? So the parts of the brain where it handles stress thickens because of, these angry words that kids would hear from their parents. I don't know about you. Like I said, I don't want to leave, I don't want to make, of course, like they say, the bigger the brain, the better, right? Well, I don't know if that's physically or scientifically true, but you know the saying, right? But if it's like one part of the brain where, your kids, because they have to handle stress so much from hearing words out of anger, especially from their parents, that's not something that, as a parent, we should leave with our kids. So I wanted to ask our listeners, what words do you find yourself saying to listeners, not to listeners, to your kids? Or as a kid, what words did you find yourself hearing from your parents a lot? We have loads of messages coming in. Let me get to, messages on our YouTube from It's Dianeim. I am a mother of 2 children, 3 and 5 years old. When they require lots of things to do from me, what I say most often is wait or hang on. 잠깐만. 잠시만, right? And that's every parent, I think. It's because kids, attention span and patience, that comes with age and experience. So when it comes to kids, they don't got a lot of that, Diane. So, I totally understand. My daughter, she can't wait too. She asked for it and she assumes it's going to be put in her hands, put on the table, or, be made in a matter of seconds/minutes. Like she understands like pop takes a while, but to her like a while is like 5 minutes. All right? So it's kids. We also have 이재모님 saying maybe 손 씻어라, 숙제하라, 일어나라 will be the most frequent used ones. 재봉님, do you have cameras in my house right now? Okay, that's exactly the three expressions I use the most. Okay, with my daughter. 손 씻어라. I think this is from the past 3. Almost 4 years ago with the pandemic and everything. And even this past year, a lot of people getting sick, especially during the start of the winter season. So yeah, 손 씻어라. Make sure you wash your hands. As soon as we get home, I've like made it a habit, okay, to tell my daughter because that's not the first thing she does. So I have to tell her over and over again, 가서 손 씻어, right? And then I guess 숙제해라는 it's more for like because she's in 유치원 right now in kindergarten, so she doesn't have any homework. But maybe for elementary students and for sure, like for middle school, right? Homework should be the first thing that they get to when they get home if they have it. So I'm not saying this because every student should be a good student. 말 잘 들어야지, 숙제를 해야지. As a kid, I have come to realize the faster I get homework done, the faster and the more I can actually play, do other things. Because homework, that's something I wasn't looking forward to every day when I came home. 그래서 숙제 먼저 하면 그만큼 노는 시간이 더 생깁니다. 우리 학생들. 그리고 일어나라, 맞아요. Wake up. Time to get up. Time for school, right? This is, I think, it just comes with the territory. As a parent, you cannot avoid. If there are any parents out there with your kids just waking up automatically at the time that they're supposed to, how do you do it? 너무 궁금해요. No matter how early I put my daughter to sleep, 일하는 게 제일 어려운 것 같아요. Like for kids. I mean, it's tough for adults, right? It's tough for kids too. I mean, I understand. Also, 이재봉님이 saying 밥 먹어라. As a father of a 7-year-old daughter who has so much energy right now, and the only thing in her mind is to play. Even if she has to sacrifice food, this is something that's tough for me too. 밥 먹어라. And I have to tell her that. I think I use that maybe 3 to 4 times every meal. Okay? She does. I do make sure she like sits down, but then as a very talkative kid, my daughter, she kind of forgets that she's in the middle of her meal, right? She forgets that she's supposed to be eating. So I would hear her stories and listen to what she has to say, but then I always have to point out the fact, we're like eating breakfast right now. We're eating lunch or dinner right now, right? You got to finish up, okay? So yeah, 밥 먹어라. That's something, that all parents, I'm sure, find themselves saying a lot of the times. Okay, so I'm glad to hear that a lot of the parents here on Inside Out Busan, you're not leaving like scarring remarks, right, with your kids. It just goes to show you that, I'm sure with every family, every kid, every parent, it's different. It's a different situation, I'm sure. But let's try to leave, memorable in a good way, okay, words and expressions with our kids, so that when they grow up later, they could say, if somebody were to ask them, like, what did your parents used to tell you? Like only happy memories come up for them. Yeah, this study over in Australia and the survey I share with you that they found in the US, just things kids hear often. It's kind of sad, it's kind of unfortunate, right? So, but like I said, every family, every parent, every kid, situation's different. I'm not saying who's wrong and who's right, but as parents, I think let's try our best to leave more good memories than anything else with our kids. We have Bonnie with us here in the studio, patiently waiting for her segment to start. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I wanted to ask you the same. What words, expressions do you remember your parents telling you the most when you were a kid?
when I was at the dinner table and I would leave some food, my mom would always tell me 그게 복이야. Like I'm leaving my fortune in the bowl. So I have to, if I don't eat it, that's like my good fortune going away. And I heard that so many times. But what's weird is now I'm like crazy about not wasting food. And I don't know if it's that, like that's where it came from, but I really hate wasting food. Like I will take leftovers anywhere from anywhere. I really always like finish my plate. I don't like wasting food at all. So I don't know if that was like subconsciously it followed me all these years, but I remember hearing that the most. Like finish your food.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like baby parents, like they know they're going to tell you again and again and again. But eventually, like it will help you down the road. I don't know what it is. Yeah, with my parents too, I'm sure I find myself, especially these days as a parent, realizing, what my mom and dad said when I was a kid, it's so true. It's so right.
Yeah, I shame people. I feel like she was shaming me for leaving my fortune in the bowl, right?
Yeah.
So I was always like, oh man, like what if that's true? What if I have good luck or bad luck later on in life because I left this 5 grains of rice in my bowl, you know? But now,
5. She would tell you that it was
every
just
bit,
5 grains.
every bit. Yeah, she was like, oh, 그거 복이야? That's 복이야. So then now I do the same to everybody else, though. I'm always like, you guys are gonna leave that food, and I don't say that phrase particularly, but I do say like, oh, you know, it's wasting, like, oh, you know, a lot of different phrases. But sometimes I pull that out. Sometimes I'll say that. I said, you know, my mom said when I was younger.
Yeah. So just to kind of like, oh, it's not me.
It's not me.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
It's my mom that taught me.
But now I always clean my plate. I don't know.
See,
I don't think now. Like now, I don't really think it's my fortune, but I still. It's like followed me this whole time.
It's the long game your mom played. Yeah. Wow. Nice. Thank you so much for sharing. We do have to get to a little bit of business before we start your segment. Let me fill you in on the weather and the traffic. Right now, Busan City averaging 2 degrees. Tomorrow's weather brings a gradual increase in cloud. This is going to happen from late afternoon. And depending on where you are, do expect a mix of snow or rain. Snow and or rain. 내일 부산은 늦은 오후부터 차츰 흐려지겠고요. 곳에 따라 눈이나 비가 오는 곳이 있겠습니다, 여러분. When it comes to the traffic, congestion on 중앙대로 from 광무교 going towards 서면 Junction. There's also congestion on 충렬대로 from Minam Junction going towards 내성 Junction. Slow-moving traffic on 낙동북로 from 구포대교 going towards 구포대교 Junction. And a report of an accident on 황령대로 from Daenam Junction going towards Hwangyang Tunnel. A car and motorcycle collision happened near Daenam Junction. Everybody, drive safe. I also want to let you know, in the second hour, a little after Bonnie's segment, we have a brand new corner that is going to take place every Monday evening, second hour of our show. We'll be connecting with our sister radio station over in Fukuoka. We're going to be joined by DJ Sakiko. She's going to fill us in on all the happenings, news on events, things going on over in Fukuoka and Japan. So we'll be connecting with her later on our show. All right? And this is instead of everybody's favorite quote unquote. So Mondays, every Monday, and I will be telling you again a little after the segment that it will be taking place. All right, 7:23 here in the studio. Finally, let's get to me time. Time for me time. Bonnie with us here in the studio. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello.
Hi. How's your Monday going?
What a good beginning to a week. It was really chilly today, though.
Oh, yeah, it was really cold.
All day I've been just walking around being like, why is it so cold? What is this weather?
It's, the 왔다 갔다, back and forth that the weather/temperature has been playing with our hearts for the past, I want to say month and a half.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
But it does seem like, I was looking at my weather app, this weather is going to persist at least through this week. Yeah, I'll give you updates for our listeners. I think towards the end of the week, though, we'll see a slight rise. But then, it's the weather. You never know. But today and tomorrow for sure it'll be cold. All right. Brace yourself.
Thank you for that.
Winter is here. Bonnie, thank you so much for coming in. Me time today. What will we be covering?
So, because it's still the beginning of the year, I thought we would cover setting goals and how to set goals, how to set good, realistic goals for yourself, and also, the benefits of goal setting.
Yeah.
Beginning of the year, people really like to set new resolutions, maybe look at what they didn't achieve last year. I know last week I talked about not focusing on that, but also maybe it's a good time to reflect and see why maybe you didn't achieve those goals that you did, and maybe rearranging those goals. So maybe you have new priorities, interests change. So setting goals is really good, effective way to increase your motivation and helps you to create the kind of life that you really want. So I really mean like intentional goal setting. So instead of just in your head being like, oh, I want to read 5 books, maybe like writing it down somewhere and really trying like to put down the steps of how you're going to achieve that goal. So it's something actually tangible that you can achieve instead of this kind of out there abstract idea that you always have in the back of your head, but you're not really trying actively to achieve it.
It's good timing too. I think into the second week of 2024, a lot of us have now just gotten, like brand new year and everything kind of out the way. Now really let's get down to business. Maybe for some of our listeners out there, you've already set your New Year's resolution. You got it all written out, laminated, and you can't like add anymore or take out anymore. But then there's still a good amount of people like me who have some idea what I want to achieve in 2024. So I haven't just after the first week, like I don't have everything set. I'll be happy to adjust, modify, maybe add more, and maybe like take out more if I seem a little overambitious in terms of goals that I want to achieve in 2024.
I mean, it's a really great time anytime. I know a lot of people do it at the beginning of the year, but it doesn't mean that it has to be like a yearly thing. And of course, our goals always change. We're always changing. Our interests change, our priorities change, things happen in life. So of course, those goals are going to change. And so I want to also start off by saying and really stressing that if you do not achieve your goal in the said time period that you set, don't get down on yourself or don't think of yourself as like a failure or you didn't do it. So goal setting is there to help you, to motivate you to succeed, but not to stress you out. So if you don't make it, it's totally fine. Start off with a date in mind, but don't be so rigid about it where you're going to be upset if you don't make it. So there are some tips to help you so you don't kind of set you up for success instead of failure, because sometimes we set these really big goals that we would like, but that aren't necessarily attainable. Maybe you have a busy schedule and you're like, oh, I really want, or maybe monetarily you're limited, but you're like, I want to take 5 vacations this year. So you have to make them also realistic.
What line of work are you in that allows you to think that you could take 5 vacations this year? Let me know. I'm really curious.
I'm going to find that one. But so having goals is a really good way to focus your attention on the important things for you in your life. So this is apart from like your family or apart from maybe work, like your own personal goals, like looking at the life that you want to be living. And sometimes people call this a vision board, creating a vision board, because you're creating a vision of what you want your life to be like. And then you're writing out those actual steps to attain that vision. So you really, when you have a goal in mind and you actually write it down or you put pictures on a vision board, whatever you may do, it increases the amount of time that you actually spend trying to achieve that goal and the amount of effort that you put on it. So like I said, instead of being an abstract thought, you actually start to put actionable steps into place. So whatever it might be for you, maybe you're a visual person, so a vision board is good for you. Maybe you already write in a daily journal, so maybe that's where you're going to do it. But also, after you make these goals, putting them somewhere where you can see them. I know you just talked about laminating, but actually that's a really great idea. Was you put them somewhere that you're going to see them every day. It's going to be a constant reminder that you have this goal in place, and that is something that you want, and it's a top priority for you, because sometimes we forget. We're in the busy everyday go, go, go in life. We have our set schedule already. We have work schedule, family things. So put it somewhere, maybe even, on the mirror in your bathroom, something that you'll see every day, on the fridge, maybe.
Or maybe even
That's
like
where
on
I'm
the
at a lot.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah. The inside, not the outside. Okay.
Yeah, let everybody else know how they can help you achieve your goals.
Exactly. Like you want to see it like when you're out the door, or maybe when you're coming back home, when you're taking your shoes off. But yes, inside the house.
Yeah.
Good.
So be flexible with the date. If you have a date in mind, and it's actually good to have a date in mind for when you want to achieve the goal. But also let that be flexible, and let the whole list be flexible. You can cross it out, you can modify it, change it whenever you want. So I just want that to be a clear thing. Our goals don't have to be permanent. They're always changing. So be flexible with them. So I've got some tips on how you can set your goals so that you can succeed.
Okay.
So you can succeed at these goals. So whether or not they're big or small, the first step is just to decide what they're going to be. And so start with things that make you happy, like that you really want to do. So like I said before, not something that your parents want you to do, not something that you've been told that you should do, but make this goal something that you really want to achieve personally, because that's the way that you're going to achieve it the best, is if it's something that you actually really want.
Yeah, you got to be interested in it.
Yeah, instead of some
to
people
want to do anything.
Maybe somebody put it in your head that you should have an X amount of money saved away or something, but you're like, I don't really care. I want to go on those 5 vacations, maybe.
If you find yourself in that situation, you're probably thinking, you obviously don't know me.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Know your own strengths.
Yes.
Come in tune with what you are really good at or what you're passionate about, and then try to make your goals aligned with that. So I've noticed that I learned from my goal last year that I'm not a big reader.
Yeah.
So I made an unattainable goal for myself because I saw everybody else putting these numbers. It was like 20 books this year, 10 books this year. So I made that goal for myself because everybody else was doing it, but that was very unrealistic for me. So this year, I'm just making the goal, read as much as you can.
Yes.
So that's attainable for me, and that's what I want to do. I don't really want to read. I don't want to read 10 books. I mean, I should. I do want to, but I know it's not realistic.
It's the time spent on reading that counts for Bonnie, not the number of books, right?
So I have altered my goal from my past experience. But I also want people to focus on the positive of what to do instead of what not to do. So for example, instead of kind of being like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds, maybe instead of that, change the narrative by saying, oh, I want to be healthier, and maybe I want to try and exercise 4 times a week. So if it's something in the negative, trying to spin it so you're doing something that will make it so you're not doing that thing, So you're trying to always keep it in the positive mind state instead of always trying to be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So try and flip it to the positive side. So once you've decided what your goals are or what goal you want to achieve, there's actually this SMART theory, S-M-A-R-T, this theory of goal setting that actually helps people achieve them. And it's a criteria that was made in the 1980s. Lots of academic research went into this, and people saw that once they followed these steps, they were actually more likely to succeed at their goals. So like I said, S-M-A-R-T, the first S is for specific. So to be really clear about what your goal is. So the who, where, when, how much, all that kind of stuff. So actually go into the details of what you want to do. This will kind of make your goal more attainable because instead of making it so broad, it's like you make baby steps and how you're going to achieve it. So for me, it could say, oh, read 10 minutes a day. 10 pages a day. So that's something attainable. That's something that I can time myself. I can check it off.
And then, you set yourself, so read 10 pages a day. And then at the end of the day, you could say, I read not this amount of books, but this amount of pages.
Yeah, unless
Right?
I'm choosing really short books. Then maybe I'll finish 100 books. Who knows?
See, if you do that, you could play tricks on your mind, saying, if you, okay, I'm going to read this many pages, but if it's short books, it could be like a book and a half. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
that many pages. So if the number of books kind of intimidates you, change that to pages.
Exactly. Setting yourself up for success and happiness.
Yes.
So the M in SMART is for measurable. So exactly this. Set goals that you can measure. So a quantity of how much or how many. So instead of just saying, I want to exercise more, saying, oh, I want to exercise 4 times a week, or I want to exercise for 20 minutes a day. So that, like we said, something specific that you can measure. The A in SMART is achievable. So like I mentioned before, setting your goals should be something that you can do, something that you can do realistically in your schedule, in the time that you have, maybe the money that you have, with the energy that you have. Is it something that you can actually attain? So this is going to set you up so that you can actually have a better outcome.
Yeah.
And if you make it too difficult at first, it can be kind of discouraging, and then you might not want to set another goal, or you might give up at that one thing much faster.
Yeah.
So if it's something really, really big and you feel like, oh, it's so far away, I can't do it because it's so big, I'm never going to get there, then you might just stop altogether.
Yeah, and that's what, it's because a lot of us find ourselves in that trap where like, we give up like 2-3 days just into the new year.
Yeah.
You go, yeah, I'm never going to be able to do this.
There's a big gym statistic that they always say, like January is super busy because everybody sets those goals for themselves. I'm going to go to the gym. And then by like February, March, you slowly start seeing the attendance kind of go down. Everybody starts off really strong, but then they kind of like all teeter off a little bit because, of course, life. But that's why I'm saying if you have it on your fridge or maybe on the mirror every day, and it's a very attainable goal, 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, you can always increase the time.
True.
Or increase the pages, increase whatever it is that you're doing. But when you decrease it, you kind of feel like you failed. You already have disappointed yourself in that goal. So you want to start off slow, start off small, and then increase those steps.
Yeah. Speaking of gym memberships at the beginning of the year, I'm going to digress a little bit, but I found it really surprising how fast these gyms put up their posters and banners. And I realized it right on the first day of the new year. I was driving around my neighborhood. And you see like posts and trees every day when you pass by, just like every other one, just this banner advertisement for like this gym, right? So people signing up, and I'm glad if you have getting in shape, getting more healthy, getting that bod that you always wanted as your New Year's resolution, go for it. But then I think a big attribute to a lot of people signing up and then failing is all that advertisement that the gyms run.
Oh, yeah,
right?
they're pretty smart.
They are smart. I'm not saying they're bad.
They know when to do this.
They're smart. Okay?
But also with your goals, they have to, like we talked about before, they have to be something you want to do and that you enjoy. So a lot of people have the goal of like, oh, I just want to get in shape. I should go to the gym. But what you should be thinking is, I want to get in shape. What do I enjoy doing? That's a form of exercise. What do I love doing? That's movement. And then doing more of that. So if you have a goal, but the way to achieve that goal is something that you don't enjoy or something that you don't like, that goal is further away than you think. And it's not sustainable. It's not something that you're going to want to do all the time. So whatever goal you start, it really should start off first with, do I want to do this? Do I enjoy doing this? Does this bring me happiness? So start off with that. If it doesn't, I would say don't make it a goal. That could be something on your list, maybe a to-do list thing. But your goal should really be something that will improve your own state of happiness, your own well-being. And if you're not enjoying whatever it is, that's not going to be sustainable for you, realistically. And that is the R in our SMART, in the SMART. R is being realistic. So setting those goals that are practical for you in your circumstances. So do you enjoy it? Can you achieve it? Looking at your calendar, looking at your schedule, is it something that you can actually get to? Maybe the gym or whatever it is that you're wanting to do, maybe it actually doesn't make sense because it takes a long time to get there, and after you finish work, you can't have dinner. So try putting it in your schedule, actually fitting it in, and see if it's something that you can actually do long term. So be realistic with these things.
Yeah.
And then last are T in
Yes.
SMART, time related. So
Okay.
setting a time frame, having an endpoint. Now, like I said before, you don't have to be super rigid about this, but having some sort of deadline will kind of motivate you more in your efforts. So instead of having like, oh, I just want to do it by the end of the year.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. A lot of us because New Year's resolution, you forget to put that end date, and you think, oh, the end date just by this year.
Yeah.
And then, a year's a long time, 365 days, right? And most of the time, if you set your end date as December 31st of the year, you get caught in this trap. All right, there's still time. There's still time. I'll do it later. I'll start it later. There's still time. And then you get to that point where, oh my gosh, I don't have time.
Oh yeah, it's the end of the year. You forgot. You're trying to, and then you get disappointed. Then you're like, oh, I failed. I didn't achieve my goal. So maybe not by the end of the year. But setting a time frame does make it so that you can have like steps in order to get there instead of just having it be, oh, sometime within this year. So if you want to achieve something, and like I said, you can always change it. So maybe it's not realistic for you, then set it a couple weeks after. Or maybe it's telling you that maybe this goal is not for you. If it's something that you cannot achieve or it's not fitting into your schedule, change the goal.
Yeah.
Right? So don't be so set on these things. But if you do all of these steps, supposedly, all the research says that you will achieve your goals, or you have a higher chance of
higher chance of doing it, right? If the odds are more in my favor, I am willing to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Writing it down. So this is what I do with all my students at the beginning of the year is New Year goal setting. So I have them always write it down. And this is actually a good tip, handwriting. So
instead of just typing
Yeah,
it?
they say instead of typing, when you handwrite it, you are more likely to achieve your goals as well if you handwrite something. And make it fun, decorate it, maybe do it as a family or with your friends. I know a lot of people do vision board group gatherings where they get a bunch of magazine clippings and do a whole vision board together.
Yeah.
So make it fun.
Yeah. So for those out there that might have trouble when it comes to deciding on New Year's resolution, or maybe you listen to this segment and you look at your New Year's resolutions list and you go, oh, maybe I am a little bit more over ambitious with some things. Yeah. I think simplifying, but also at the same time putting more detail into those lists can paint you a better picture of if it's achievable or not. But, if it's not, and then you ask yourself, okay, what can I do to make it a bit more achievable?
Yeah,
right?
and always aligning it with your own purpose, what
맞습니다.
you really want to do, your passions. So always making sure that's first and foremost in your goals.
맞아요. Real quick, before we wrap up, we have a message that came in from 유상효 신경과입니다 on our YouTube saying, 때려쳐라. 아니에요, 원장님. 난 할 수 있다. Okay? So don't give up already. 원장님, on your goals. 할 수 있어요. 할 수 있다. 할 수 있다. 할 수 있다.
Yeah, we're only 8 days in. We have lots of time to.
All right, Bonnie, that will do it for today's Me Time. And actually, we won't be seeing you for a couple weeks, right?
Yes. We'll be going across the ocean to another land.
Safe travels to
Thank you so much.
We'll see you when you get back, okay?
Thank you. Have
All
a
right,
good one.
you too. Let's take a quick song break. This is Lifehouse with Come Back Down. After that song, we'll be connecting with DJ Sakiko in Fukuoka. Stick around.
Staring right back in the face, a memory can be erased. I I know, because I tried. Start to feel the emptiness and everything I'm gonna miss. I know that I can hide. This time is passing by. I think it's time to just move out. Will you come back down? If you land on your feet, I'll be find a way to make it back to me. When you come around, I'll be there for you. Don't have to be alone with what you go through. Start to breathe and fake a smile. It's all the same after a while. I know that you are tired, carrying the ones you lost. A picture framed with all the thoughts I know.
푸짐한 선물을 원하십니까? 인사이드 부산이 준비한 소중한 선물. Full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. 런지 10세트. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. 뮤지엄 오브 일루전 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 회원님 끝까지 집중하셔야 돼요. 언제나 마시는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee whole beans. Sponsored by Into Roastery in 양산. 운동 중인데 향이 좋네요. 자, 회원님 다음 암풀다운 핫돌. A delicious meal voucher from Gorilla Brewing Busan, 광안 branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 자, 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. 자, 회원님 마지막 덤벨 85kg. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 끝까지 해야 됩니다. 끝까지. 자, 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 회원님 수고하셨습니다. 네, 재밌는 방송 IOB와 함께 선물은 덤으로 지금 바로 참여하세요. 후하 후하.
All right, listeners, it's time for a brand new segment here on Inside Out Busan. Now, I have the privilege of introducing to you a very special person. She has been on a previous program before with me during the weekend called Hello Busan, Hello Gwangju. Now she's going to be a part of our Monday evening around this time. So I'd like to say hello and welcome DJ Sakiko from Fukuoka's Love FM. Hello, Sakiko.
Hi, Minsu.
Hi,
How are you?
Pretty good. Sakiko, do you want to say hello to all of our listeners on Inside Out Busan?
Yeah. Oh, well, hello. And I don't know how to say 하지메 마시테. 저는 사키코입니다. 처음 뵙겠습니다.
처음 오! 너무 잘했어요.
Really?
That was pretty good.
Okay.
That was pretty good. I don't think I've ever heard
learn
you.
More.
I don't think I've ever heard you speak Korean. When you used to do Hello Busan, Hello Gwangju with me. Wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, I will study. From now on.
Why, thank you, Sakiko. So, listeners, every Monday around this time, DJ Sakiko will be joining us for this very special segment because she's going to be introducing to us very special events and things to do, must see, must eat, even things in the city of Fukuoka. I know a lot of tourism, a lot of traveling is taking place here. So I think it's good to fill our listeners in on what's going on in Fukuoka. And DJ Sakiko will be doing just that every Monday evening. All right, Sakiko?
Yes.
All right. So getting right to it, what do you have for our listeners today?
Okay, today I want to talk about the Japanese custom called nanakusagayu, which is a 7-herb rice porridge during a New Year season.
That's right. Oh, and I forgot to mention Happy New Year's to you, DJ Sakiko.
Oh, I know. Wow, Happy New Year's to you and everybody.
Yeah, well, thank you. So, in light of the New Year season still, we're still a couple days into the month of January. Please, tell us about this.
Okay. The main reason Japanese people have the 7-herb rice porridge on the January 7th nowadays, is that it is easy on our stomachs after eating and drinking too much during the New Year's holidays. So, on the other hand, it is said that the custom was originally introduced from China like a long time ago.
I see. So, that's how the tradition came about. But why do people eat porridge? Why do you eat porridge on January 7th, which was yesterday?
Oh, yeah. By eating the porridge on January 7th, we believe that we can get rid of bad luck. And the custom has been passed down from generations to generation. And this custom has been brought to Japan in Heian era, which is like a long time ago. And it connected with the ancient Japanese New Year custom called Wakana Tsumi, which is a nip off the shoots on New Year Day. And now it's adopted in Japan and known as nanakusagayu.
I see. I'm getting hungry already. But, Sakiko, tell us, what exactly goes in the rice porridge?
Yeah. So it's the 7 kinds of herbs. And although they have different ingredients depending on the regions, so it has a common purpose, which is pray for Persian noxious vapors and a state of perfect health over the year. And each ingredient has different kind of medical virtues, such as nutritional enhancement and intestinal function. And also the herb has the lucky charm meanings after the name.
Oh, okay. Now 7 herbs, that sounds like a lot that goes in. I don't cook much. So I don't know if that's a lot or little, but do you know the 7 herbs?
Yeah. Okay. So the first one is called, we call seti, and of course they have an English name. It's a water dropwort, and this seti means complete and win.
Oh, I like that.
So that's the first herb, right? So the second one is called nazuna, or we call pempengusa, and English name is shepherd's purse. And this means wipe and remove the dirt.
Okay.
Yeah. The third one is the gogyo, and the English name is the cutweed. And it means Buddha's body.
Ah, so that's what it represents. Okay.
Yeah. And then fourth is a hakobera. English name is the chickweed. And this means spread the prosperity.
I like that. Sharing in the success. Okay.
Yeah. And the number 5 is the hotokenoza. English name is Himbit, and it means a Buddha's seat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And the number 6 is Suzuna. English name is turnip. It means a bell for calling God.
Okay.
And the last one is number 7 is Suzushiro, and English name is daikon radish. It's a Japanese radish.
Yeah.
And this means like a pure white.
Oh, okay.
So we put those in the porridge. But after January 3rd, we often see the 7-herb set in the one plastic pack.
Okay.
Or freeze-dry 7 herbs, or even instant food of rice porridge with 7 herbs. So we can go to the supermarket and get it. You don't have to, collect all 7.
Because so many people are going to be enjoying the porridge, around this time anyway, right? So a lot of companies have decided to put it together, make it easy for people. Nice. So that's why maybe, people that have taken a trip not only to Fukuoka, but just Japan in general, and you might see a lot of people partaking and eating this porridge. That's why it's a New Year tradition.
Yes.
It's very similar to our tradition of eating 떡국, which is like rice cake soup. And we do that here. There's a couple of meanings, but the main reason we eat 떡국 is to... it's a way of saying, the new year has come, so that means I'm 1 year older. So the thing is, if you eat the 떡국, if you eat the rice cake soup, that means you get 1 year older. That's why a lot of people, they try to avoid eating the 떡국 because, they don't want to gain another year on their age. Yeah. Well, Sakiko, thank you so much. Once again, Sakiko will be joining us every Monday evening to fill us in on certain traditions, that might be going on. Most importantly, any news on events and festivals and whatnot. Sakiko, thank you so much. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye, Minsu.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll be connecting with Sakiko every Monday, second hour of our show, and that will do it for today's program. I do hope you have a rest of your Monday evening. Make it a lovely one. I'm going to leave you with our last track, Brown Eyed Soul with My Story. Inside Out Busan was written by Im Soo-jin, and it was hosted and produced by yours truly, Min Soo-shin. Have a good one.
어디로 향하는지 마음을 볼 순 없지만 누구나 알 수가 있어 무엇을 원하는지 사랑할 때마다 상처가 늘어서 두려움의 벽은 높아만 가고 그 안에 숨어서 그대가 나를 불러도 한참을 그렇게 망설이고 있었지만 My story, my story 잊혀버린 마음 열고서 그대만이 날 다시 웃게 My story 잊혀버린 시간 속에서 그대만이 날 노래하게 아무리 힘껏 안아도 잡을 수가 없었어 변해버린 마음